Your imagination acts, activating your inner lantern. Have you ever had a meal prepared for you in perhaps a Southeast Asian restaurant where it's not really clear what the meat is in the dish? And as you start to contemplate that it might not be chicken or beef, but it could be dog, cat or snake, suddenly the whole puke reflex kicks in. This is one simple example of how what we imagine affects our body. It affects our expectations, our perception, our mood, and the possibilities we tend to see. Actively interacting with your personal self-generated imagery, those internal images that appear only to you and basically are you, reveals them as sources of your actions. Your inhibitions are reflections of how you see yourself, so that which you see in those images is you, while, and here's the opportunity, you are also the seer. When we are stuck, we identify singularly, we experience only from within the image and fuse with the image completely. Yet a quality we possess as humans is to realize that you are the one who is seeing that image. You can actively interact, engage with that image, and so just as with your physical body in the physical world, you can move in that image, observe the environment within it, and at some point start to look through it. And so what can happen in those images? What I've seen in my work is that certain areas in the landscape someone presents to me are dark. And you could say these dark regions are the ones we would prefer not to venture into. Sometimes they are the locations of doing the right thing, looking towards what's right. Often the pattern seen in people who work deeply with metaphors or actively use them is that those right side regions in their images are darker, with shadows, muddy, stink, or dark woods that are not easy to see through. It can be very revealing to actually spend time there, to go towards the dark, to look into the dark, to learn to ground yourself and to lighten up in the dark, like the hermit in the tarot, not depending on external light but holding his own lantern. This will reveal to you what is in the dark to you, what you are preferring not to see, which can then be very telling about what under the line of consciousness during the day is directing and often limiting your actions. All these areas you see in your inner landscape can be explored, actively engaged with, and will often mirror to you what is going on, why you are stuck, what you are stuck on, what is limiting your range of thinking, why you're not seeing any new options. In essence, it gives you a kind of painting of your current state, where you are currently standing. Which landscape do you arrive at when you look right now? What is going on? How am I? From which base am I experiencing life, seeing, looking, projecting, hiding right now? The beautiful thing is that as you start to make moves in that very personal, completely personal landscape, those moves will start to affect or plasticize your reality. You will start to move, as one of my teachers said, from looping in mind more and more to being, which is more of an actively engaging open state. You are able to, as the Cypriot mystic Stylianos Ateshli said, to get disinterested in your negative thought forms, or in this sense pathways and attachments in the landscape that you do not want to nourish anymore with the food of your attention. You get an enormous modality in the sense of moving. And as Karl Friston says, I think it's nice to realize there is no other way that you can change the universe other than simply moving. Seeing the image shows your base of operation, your point of view, your constellation that you see yourself in, your attachments, your entanglements, the containers in which you are fixed, which will then also affect your beliefs, your behavior rigidities, your range of motion. Now, what all this points to is that we realize the imagination acts, and so if we don't have an active relationship to our personal images, we are missing out on an enormous potential for cognitive plasticity. A beautiful thing that I heard recently in a discussion with some of the current leading neuroscientists is if you reduce the precision of your prior preferences, you become more exploratory. And in order to do all of this, which might seem overwhelming initially, and it often is, the state of the nervous system can be key. Learning to actively relax, or learning to relax as a skill, basically getting completely disinterested in your worldly duties, the attachments for a moment, and allowing your body, your parasympathetic nervous system to activate, to settle deeply into allowing the ground to support you, and in many traditions also seen as a cleaning practice, can be a preparatory practice to deepen active imagination work. The obstacle in our society is that this restlessness, the amount of imagery that is externally consumed and bombarded to us, the constant states of tension, the fear-mongering through the media, are not really supportive of deepening interiority. There is an initial practice path of, on the one hand, not denying that all of that exists, but on the other hand getting completely disinterested also on the physical bodily level from what is going on in the external world for periods of time daily. Such practice does not mean that you lose responsibility, rather that you can return with more energy to your responsibilities after. You do not work from a belief system that says it is not allowed to completely disengage for moments each day from the outside world. When your body has learned to deeply move away, it's easier to engage with the images. It's easier to become stable when moving in your metaphors. You will also get different images. You will have a lower frequency of thoughts, and so your images will become a little bit more harmonious, or you become more harmonious in them. And as Emerson said, there will be less goblins in the mind. You will start to get fooled less by the seduction of those internal tricksters who know your weakness so well. And that is where consistent physical practices that are not willpower based come in. You're frequently checking in complete presence and honesty. Am I here? Am I looping in one of the old stories? Through myriad approaches, which can help you become more and more stable, sobered up and better in the old stories, they can start to help you to go deeper in the imagination inquiries. So here is a practice summary if you actually want to go do this. Learn to physically relax deeply and completely disengage from the outside world for a set time. Sit yourself down in a comfortable active posture, not slouched. Ask yourself that whole story of what's going on right now in me. What is this like? And then allow an image to appear and enter it. Observe as if you would observe any other external environment. And as one of my teachers told me, before I really understood the practical application of all this, pay attention and see how many metaphors do you have. As Yantal, a psychosynthesist, says, everything we do in life is guided by the image of it. Imagination gives access to the deepest layers of ourselves. That inner world is the terrain of what drives us, of our possibilities, of our deepest vital life sources, but also of our obstacles and hindrances. Itsuo Tsuda, in his book The Path of Less, modern education is aimed at unilateral development of the intellect and ignores the possibility of using the subconscious. It is believed that with willpower we can do anything. Thomas Pollak, neuropsychiatrist, cultivating a kind of holy disinterest, a notching down of the precision of your prior preferences, you get these incredible cessation experiences, post-reboot states where everything suddenly appears a lot more plastic.